That's not even the first one of those I've seen this week.
That's from last year, actually.
I know.
What?
Yeah, that's not this year's. That's like the first edition one. It'll be worth tons because it's unopened. The Pez will be nice and Pezzy.
Well, they'll be stale like...
It'll be stale like Pez.
Yeah.
All right, so probably... Can we see how many people we have viewing us? 0 viewers, so nobody's watching this right now. However, it is recording.
Have we posted the link?
I did. It's posted. It's posted at The Geek Life TV. Wait a minute. What is our Twitter?
Sorry.
The Geek Life TV.
I see it now.
There it is. Yep, there it is.
Now I'm reposting it on mine.
Now we'll get the throws of people? Throws?
Throngs.
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 Isn't that what you wear?
No, that's a thong.
Oh.
I don't wear thongs.
Could one wear throngs of thongs?
I don't know, because I don't wear thongs.
Indications that you're definitely gay. If you're a guy who wears a thong, or even thought about wearing a thong, you're gay.
That's not true at all, because I wore a thong once, and it was for a girl. And it was also a little tuxedo and bow tie thing. It was awesome. I had to buy it.
You just had to, huh?
It
had to.
It was.
Hi, Mike.
This is part of our list of things we've overheard that make you gay. The best one was the conversation Wendy got to overhear at a restaurant where several women at another table are doing the, of course he is, how do you know, you can't know, well I know, and it ended with, look, he's the only man I know who willingly shops at Williams-Sonoma. Which meant pretty much every man Wendy knew, because most of the men she knew, including me, like to cook, are like gay by that definition. Like, Williams-Sonoma, toy store, right? Okay, how does that toolbox go bye-bye? How do I make it go bye-bye? How do I close the Hangout toolbox?
I have to get my drink. I will be right back.
Oh, jeez. We're already recording, and you just ruined everything. Ah. I want to record these parts. Yes.
And your point is, that's fine.
Yes.
Hey, Mike, you might not be miking through your headphones. It sounds very echoey.
Okay, hold on.
Mike, you sound so very distant.
Yeah, it sounds like an area effect microphone and not a headset.
Cast AOE.
Okay, how about now?
Still echoey.
Kind of sounds the same, but if that's what your mic sounds like, I mean, that's...
Apparently it's on. Okay, you know what? Then let's do this.
Just click settings. If it says it is, then it is.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we can hear you perfectly fine.
Yeah, now we can.
No, we don't hear anything now. It's absolutely quiet. Oh, what is the program I use? Virtual audio cable. A free thing where you can sort of it's basically making digital audio cables that connect between things, and it's kind of complex to just sort of, you're like looking at it like, what? But basically every time you can set something up, you can make it a selectable output, audio output or input, depending on what you have it connected. So it seems pretty cool, and I was trying to figure out something to do stuff, since I do stuff. But trying to record and be live is kind of annoying. But Google Hangouts, don't have to worry about that too much.
Alrighty.
Just sort of fill in the air.
Mm-hmm.
Is Mike back? No, must not be.
Mike.
Don't hear Mike.
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 Say anything.
Mike.
All right. Let's all say not it, and then
Not it.
Let Mike do it. Since he doesn't. Yeah, we don't hear you at all. You're it though.
Can you pantomime? Well, something happened. Try talking again, Mike.
I don't even know if he can hear us.
Okay. Nope. It switched to you briefly, so I was wondering if we're getting any of your audio. As in, you were the main picture for me briefly.
No, nothing. Do whatever you did in the first place. It should just be the little gearbox at the top of the Google Hangouts page, and then under the microphone symbol, select whatever.
Ooh, neat.
Shouldn't be this complicated. What, you never saw that before?
Oh, the interface has changed so many times.
Oh.
No.
Yeah.
That's so handy.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
I can hear you
Now
now.
you can hear. And it's still all echoey and stuff now again?
Yeah, it's fine.
It's not echoey. It just could be just that the mic isn't by your mouth.
Because it's not, because the mic that's being used is actually the one here on the webcam. I don't know why the headset isn't getting used.
Oh.
I'm not sure why the headset is not getting used. If I switch it over to the headset, it goes blank and
Is there a
everything.
mute on the headset cable? Okay.
Nope.
And
All
it's
right.
not
Well, let's
disabled?
just get going then.
All right. By the way, you're it, Mike.
No, I'm not.
You're it, Fess.
In 5, 4, 3.
Hello, world! Welcome to another edition of The Geek Life here at thegeeklife.tv. This is episode 241, recorded for the week of December 8th, 2014. Of course, recorded on December 9th, the Tuesday of that week, at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. That's right, you can watch us live every other week when we do a Geek Life podcast. This week, we have pretty much everyone's here. We have Melissa.
Hello.
We have Mike,
Hello.
Paul,
Hello.
and myself, which I'm Fess, and we should move on to beer, since...
Okay, I gotta get mine then. Here, you guys talk about yours.
I gotta go last.
Fine, whatever. Okay, I'll be right back.
Okay. Somebody else go.
All right, well, I thought Paul would take it, but I am going to hold up my beer. It is mirrored, I guess. Oh, well. It's Shell's Snowstorm for this year, called Grand Cru. It's an ale brewed with spices, and,
Spices.
It's not that bad. It's an ale brewed with spices. It's nothing... What is it when you have a beer that's not going to intimidate most people? It's serviceable beer. Inoffensive, that's the word. It's an inoffensive...
You mean unoffensive?
Inoffensive.
Inoffensive?
Inoffensive, as in
But
not
not unoffensive.
It doesn't mean to offend.
It's a word.
Okay.
It's casting a wide net of to beer drinkers. It's not like it's a dark beer where people are going to be put off. It's not a super hoppy beer where some people are going to be put off. It's just sort of an ale brewed with some spices, and it's
Can you tell what spices?
I don't know beer.
You
It's
don't know
not listed.
spices either.
It's not listed, so I don't freaking
Does
know.
it taste like nutmeg? Does it taste like cinnamon? Does it taste like pumpkin spice? Is it pumpkin spice latte beer?
No, is there a pumpkin spice beer? I
Yes,
don't know
there
why
has
there is.
been.
Yes,
Oh,
there
yeah.
is.
I kind of want a pumpkin spice latte beer now.
I'll create a pumpkin spice beer and mix it with ice cream as a float.
But Shell's Snowstorm this year, it's all right. It's all right. Yeah.
With spices.
Mike.
Okay, I have from the Minneapolis' own Indeed Brewing Company. It's called the Old Friend Holiday Ale.
Nice.
I haven't tried it yet. Do you see a theme? Everyone I've done so far here is stuff I haven't tried. Doesn't smell too bad. That's actually not bad. It is actually ale brewed with honey and ginger. It's got some little spicy notes in there too. I mean, it's a holiday. It's a spiced ale, I think. I don't know what else is in there, but it's not bad.
Excellent.
Yeah, nice color.
It's not see-through, right?
No.
There we go.
It's a very, very dark red.
That's good. I'm trying to
Nice.
manually control the cameras so that we get a better view. So I think Paul is up next.
I'm boring. I'm drinking my own beer again. Since I haven't done it.
Pretty.
So yeah, this is one where it's almost pitch black thanks to debittered black malt, which means the color is dark, but you don't get the bitterness. And it's still maintaining a good flavor. It's aging nicely. So look forward to this, keeping a few bottles around for like a half year from now, see what happens.
Yeah, for people to try too.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Okay. But there we go. There's some color for you.
Very.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like it.
That's a trick. Get your cell phone out and put the light on against it. Yeah.
Oh, I don't have one. But
Oh, that's too bad. So, Melissa.
I don't have a beer. We had a beer shortage in our house, which means I have turned to. Well, let me back up and tell a story. I was driving through West Virginia one day, the rolling hills of rural West Virginia.
To the play.
I came across a moonshine distillery, and what I have is rhubarb moonshine,
Oh.
namely Sour Ass Rhubarb Moonshine by Pinch Gut Hollow Distillery.
Wow. Pinch.
Indeed. And usually I'm not big on moonshine because there's something kind of nasty about the taste of it. Usually, this stuff's actually pretty good, especially if you're into sour, because this is. Hot damn! It is really sour. It's pretty much like alcoholic rhubarb. It's pretty amazing. So if that sounds like something you want, I know a moonshine distillery in West Virginia you can visit.
Does rhubarb have enough sugar in it to mash, or do you have to add adjuncts?
I don't know. It's actually pretty sweet.
There is a local winery that does a rhubarb wine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I've had a rhubarb wine before that my parents had made once when they were playing around with making wines. It was actually really good.
Yeah, rhubarb wine is pretty tasty.
I'll have to look around for it.
I wonder if Mike froze. Oh, there he's moving. There we go.
No, I'm doing fine.
Sometimes the camera on my end it starts to chug a little bit for some unknown reason, which is why I drop out once in a while. But that is this week's alcoholic beverages to set up our show for video and film by Melissa.
Yay! Yeah, get me out of the way before I get too far into this bottle of moonshine, right? So yeah, new this week, Guardians of the Galaxy. And really, I could just drop the microphone and leave, right?
You don't say.
That's all we need is Guardians of the Galaxy, right? Okay. But, aside from Guardians of the Galaxy, we also have Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, which I hear was good. And also The Congress, which I know nobody's heard of, but it's a sci-fi film that's based on a Stanislaw Lem short story, if I remember right. It stars Robin Wright playing Robin Wright.
I've seen the trailer for that.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. It's made by the same director as Waltz with Bashir. It is a really ambitious sci-fi film, like pure sci-fi, and it's very bizarre. And if you're looking for something a little unusual, I recommend giving it a try now that it's available. Catalog titles. It's the week of anniversaries, apparently, because we've got Batman 25th Anniversary Blu-ray and Gremlins 30th Anniversary Blu-ray and Natural Born Killers 20th Anniversary Blu-ray. And yeah, so this week has been engineered to make me feel old. Also, we have Ben-Hur on Blu-ray. That's the William Wyler one with Charlton Heston.
Oh, now you're trying to make Paul feel old.
Yeah. Oh, snap.
I have no idea how old he is.
Jeez.
I don't know if I've ever seen all of Ben-Hur.
Was I supposed to be insulted?
I don't know.
Have to
That's
be.
what were you trying to accomplish?
Jokes.
Okay, I'm 46. Ben-Hur came out in 200 BC or something.
Well, it depends on which version of Ben-Hur. There's a 1925 version.
Sure.
too.
Heston was what, 60s? Earlier? 60s?
I think it was 60s. I mean, Miklos Rosa was doing the score, and yeah, I think
Yeah.
it was early 60s. But anyway,
Gleam in my father's eye.
also, the Missouri Breaks with Brando is out on Blu-ray. There are a couple of Tom Hanks movies on Blu-ray this week. They were probably on Blu-ray before this week too, but there are new editions out. So we've got The Green Mile and Forrest Gump. Woo! Also, this one's really interesting. The original Broadway cast recording of Into the Woods with Bernadette Peters is on Blu-ray. That one I want.
Wow.
Not the new one. I'm not real interested in the new one because they don't have real singers playing, the singing parts. And I want real singers playing the singing parts, particularly Bernadette Peters. So, Into the Woods. Hey, also on Blu-ray. Also on Blu-ray, this one is very exciting to me because I like Hammer Films, The Quatermass Experiment.
Ooh.
Yeah, I know, right? Blu-ray Quatermass, baby. Criterion this week, we've got Time Bandits on Blu-ray again. There's a nice new edition out. The Night Porter, which I'm not a big fan of, but hey, it's Criterion. And Safe, which is a Todd Haynes movie starring Julianne Moore, if you're familiar with that one. Bunch of TV coming out this week. Like, more than usual, so it must be the holiday season. They're trying to get people to buy, box sets for their relatives.
Well, it's the holiday season.
So we've got Doctor Who Series 8 out this week. Also, The Jeffersons, the whole damn series. Mr. Ed, the whole damn series. Lighters, the whole damn series.
Lighters, Jesus.
And
Why are you doing a series about White Castle?
I know, right? Why didn't White Castle just sponsor every single goddamn episode? And Mork and Mindy, the whole thing.
Wow.
Yay!
Oh, something else I heard about?
Yeah.
So apparently in Australia, Grace Point, the Broadchurch remake for the US, Grace Point, the entire season is now out on DVD in Australia. They have yet to show the last episode here.
Interesting.
And strangely enough, I also saw an article that Swedish police raided the Pirate Bay and took the servers offline.
So, those of us who have a free player.
Pirate. Let's see here.
So, I forgot.
We won't take you down for privacy. We're taking you down because you have the last episodes to shows that people love.
A lot of the speculation on that one is that they are somehow ended up hosting some of the files from the Sony breach.
Which we have later in the show, yes.
Oh, crap. And Pirate Proxy isn't working either, so that's true then. That's sad.
So there's a rapping at the door at Fess's house.
I'm hiding with my moonshine.
Well, it's a lot easier to go to like Amazon.com, buy a used CD for like super cheap, and then I just go download the music from the Pirate Bay. Because I bought the CD, I legitimately own it, so therefore I can just download it because I own it.
That seems a little roundabout.
Well, it's better than just waiting for the DVD to come in the mail than for me to pop it in my computer and rip it. Because I own it, it's mine, so therefore I can do that.
Bought it from Amazon. They automatically give you the cloud version if they.
No.
Yeah.
I buy used because it's like way cheaper. You can get like a CD for $5 with shipping.
Yeah.
Anyway, title of the week.
She said coyly.
I have title of the week. Well, first of all, there's a rather baffling title I believe we've seen one of these before in Title of the Week section, but here is another one. Aquarium 4K.
Woo! No, I heard about that one.
Yeah, I know, right? No, wait. The Amazing Blood Parrot Cichlid Aquarium. So, first of all, we have a Blu-ray of an aquarium in 4K. It's all filled with amazing blood parrot cichlids. So if you're really aiming for a niche audience, specifically
I like cichlids.
fans
Fans
of
of
aquariums who
cichlids.
are really into hybrid cichlids.
Hybrid cichlids.
Specifically.
Yeah. Blood parrot cichlids are a hybrid between, God, is it Jack Dempsey's and... Oh, I can't remember anymore. But anyway, they're sterile. Anyway, but really,
Oh, thank God.
the one that
I
really...
was worried this was a porno.
Well, title of the week, you never know.
You never know. You never know. But really, the one that takes the cake this week for Title of the Week is a movie called You Can't Kill Stephen King.
Okay.
That's
It's not a
probably
documentary. It's not a documentary.
It's a warning.
You can't kill Stephen King. And then there's a byline underneath the title that says, it was a mistake to visit his lake. And then there's a quote from FearNet on the front that says, a sense of humor, creepy twins, and hot girl-on-girl action. So this is getting more baffling and baffling as we go on, right? So here's the description from Amazon. One summer, a group of friends make a clueless and ill-fated decision to visit the lake where horror author Stephen King lives. Upon arrival, they are greeted by unfriendly townspeople who hate noise and tomfoolery, almost as much as they hate uninvited guests and questions about their most famous resident. As dead bodies begin to mount, one thing becomes clear. The friends must piece together the clues and save themselves before their own Stephen King nightmare is written. I don't know if Stephen King has anything to do with this movie aside from his name.
He may not.
Hot Buddhist and Buddhist action.
Hot girls on girls action.
Girls on girls.
Oh dear.
That's a lot more.
Girls on film, but that's a Duran Duran reference.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh boy.
Is that-
Oh, it's rated 3.8 stars on IMDb.
Out of...
Out of 10.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I can pre-order it on Instant Video, but it's not part of Prime Instant Video.
See
It's a sad
full
day.
cast. I do not see Stephen King in the cast.
I wasn't even...
Maybe he doesn't have a speaking line.
No,
He's uncredited.
you'd think if your movie is called You Can't Kill Stephen King, if you got Stephen King, you'd list Stephen King in the credits. You'd
Yeah,
think.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't think that he's...
Or was part of his contract.
Please, dear God.
Don't say I'm
Do
in
they have
walking.
a Stephen King look-alike? I don't think so. That's a bummer. There's Man in Diner number 2.
I love him.
Screaming
compelling.
woman.
Is there a guy in wheelchair? That might be the guy I interviewed last month. I interviewed somebody who was actually part of a play around here, and he says that he's done a lot of TV and movies where he plays a guy in a wheelchair because he was a guy in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
That's the work he gets.
Well, if you have a niche, you got to work it.
Yep. All right. Are you Melissa? Was that all of your stuff for film and video?
Yeah, I think I'm done.
All right. I did get one piece of news on here. Reboot is coming back.
Of course
Again.
it is.
Yes, again.
Again and again.
And they mean it this time. Again. Yes, it's the reboot. There was announcement of a reboot like, I don't know, a year or so ago. That fell through, but this is a new one. and some people are really hoping it's going to work because Rainmaker, the current company that owns it, is sort of having money problems. So I'm not going to hold my breath for this one, but it is actually a reboot because they're not continuing where they left off. They are basically redoing it. They're rebooting it. I mean, I can't really get more specific than that. I mean,
is it going to be like a gritty remake, or are they going to be, look like the
we only have
the route, or
we only have a teaser title right now. We don't really have much. That's pretty much it. But I will be listening for it. Let's see here. Moving to comics. Cosplayers are ruining cons. Yeah. So some
cosplayers, whatever.
Yeah. Oh, they don't spend any money when they come to the cons. They just block.
Well, that's a lie.
Well,
that is a filthy lie.
They don't spend as much money as what they say. But it's like.
Oh, that's a filthy lie too.
Yeah, this is on the Mary Sue. Yeah, it's like I totally understand what some people are coming from. It's like, why are these? I mean, it's like, honestly, they shouldn't be standing in front of people's booths. That's just faux pas.
Yeah, but you know what? Regularly dressed people also stand in front of people's booths.
Oh, absolutely, and they also put stuff on the tables like they're not supposed to. I mean, cosplayers don't do that. I know that. Because they kind of understand the biz, fellow creatives, and also cosplayers are part of a reason why people go to cons. They're what help bring more people to a con as well.
So who's being the grandpa get off my lawn this time?
I didn't even care to look because he's stupid. Oh, it's some old fuck.
Your fandom is fine, my fandom is fine. All fandoms are fine, except for those fervors.
Let's see here. The article talks about Tony Harris, Denise Dorman, and let's see here, Broderick.
Pat Broderick.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Wah.
Yeah, see how that goes over at San Diego Comic-Con.
He don't get it.
Yeah.
No, that's part of basically the free. I mean, think of what Dragon Con.
You media people are ruining perfectly good literary cons. You damn media people. Oh wait, that's the old debate. It's you furries. No, we're past that. Slash. No, Slash is done.
Oh, well, furries, that was something interesting I saw earlier on Google Plus. Somebody had linked a video. What was it, Good Morning America, or what was it?
Oh, no, it was
Morning Joe.
Morning Joe.
Which, as soon as I saw his Morning Joe, I didn't even bother hitting play.
No,
it was actually pretty funny.
Yeah, because I don't know who the woman on the show is, but she had her head down, and she ended up, running away
running out of the studio. She was laughing.
Yeah.
When she found out what furries were.
Yeah. Not to really, properly comment on the fact that somebody purposely caused a gas leak in the.
Well, it wasn't a gas leak. Somebody threw powdered chlorine into a stairwell and tried to activate it with liquid.
Yep.
So it was a deliberate gas attack.
Yeah, the police are treating it as a crime, etc.
And 19 people went to the hospital because of it.
Yeah.
It was bad.
So not okay.
Yeah.
So not okay.
Furries are people too.
They are.
So,
and I had a lot of friends. In that hotel. I'm fucking pissed. So we will leave it at that.
No, rightfully so. It was horrible. I mean, some of the people I knew were there at the con this year, as they go every year. And
I mean, we have at least one mutual friend who was there. Yeah.
Well, was
it MFF?
Yeah,
it was it was Midwest First.
AP had probably a good story on it, except AP crossed MFF with Anthrocon accidentally, but.
Oh, yeah. Well.
That was forgivable, given the rest of it was very straightforward and took the yes, police are taking this as a crime, and it was horrible. So.
Oddly enough, Fox News had a fairly straight reporting on it too, of all news outlets.
Which is weird.
Yeah, I know.
Fox News.
But yeah,
and Fox News.
Yeah, most years I would have been there at that particular event because I usually do their auctioneering for their auctions, and yeah, it was just kind of a fluke I wasn't there this year because they had changed the dates. The convention after Thanksgiving rather than before, so I wasn't able to make it this year. But yeah.
Not good.
Well, I hope everyone turns out to be fine and well from that excursion.
I heard that everybody is home from the hospital except for one person. So.
All right, I'm going to move on. What is VATMOSS, and why should freelance creatives selling online be very concerned? This is a very complex news article, complete with a bunch of links. Essentially, if you sell to the UK, even if you're not from the UK, you could be potentially held responsible for internationally taxed electronic goods and services that you may offer. I think it's mostly electronic services, and it is very confusing. Essentially, if you set up a PayPal, possibly, or any sort of like automated system where somebody is going to go buy something on PayPal, and then you have it all rigged up to sell automatically through your website after they go through PayPal, you have to pay a tax. Unless there is human interaction in between the transaction that you personally send them an email, then you're not taxed. And tons of people are freaking out about this. Now, I don't know if there's like a certain income amount level. I've seen £81,000 being thrown around. I have no idea if that is. It's very complex and complicated, and goes into effect in like a month. So that's why for one of my websites, I actually took out the automated PayPal payment system and changed it so that I have to manually go in and do it because I don't want to have to worry about it.
So is it personally sending any sort of email or as part of the transaction? Well, so, I mean, like, what's to stop somebody from having an automated transaction and then manually sending an email saying, "Hey, thanks for purchasing this. I hope you enjoy it," like a little personalized thing. And would that actually take care of it?
If you did it yourself, then if you did it yourself versus you having an automated system, then you'd not get taxed if you do it yourself at that point. At least as long as there's human interaction
at some point.
At some point beyond minimal is what it's very stupid. It's
British tax law.
You're trying to nickel and dime. It's like, how can that literally reach to internationally that they could? I mean, it's like you have to provide, like, if you do sell to the UK or something, like, it's like you have to provide at least 2 pieces of evidence that they're and third-party companies, like if you use a third-party company like DriveThruRPG.com or something like that, well, that company, not you, is then responsible for those sales or something like that. So PayPal is like the iffy thing. Does PayPal count as a third-party intermediary, or if it's going to go through your website when it's done and automatically give them the link to download or whatever? It's like that is, yeah, it's unless there's like an income requirement, it's unless there's an income requirement, there's no way that small-time freelancers, they're just going to get totally screwed by this because.
Yep.
Also, it's like PayPal doesn't. It's you get an email address, it's.
Well, it strikes me as the classic. Somebody wanted to apply essentially British sales tax, but didn't think through what this economy is like, who you're affecting and how you're affecting it. It's just like, oh, you can just do it this way, and they're not adapting to. It's not that way. It's not like regular VAT. It's this whole other sort of world. I mean, that's how it's sounding like to me. Like whoever pushed it through is classic bureaucrats and not realizing, no, you have people internationally, you have third parties, you have all these complex, kind of entanglements, and your law can't account for all of it. So
we have B.S. Simon on Twitter telling us that it's Europe-wide with no minimum, and it was intended to counter Amazon.
That makes sense.
Okay.
Which even makes more sense for why it doesn't make sense at a small individual level if you're going up against somebody like Amazon who can probably put systems in place to handle it. If you're the dealer like you are, Fess, this small guy in one state in the U.S. trying to sell to whoever you can sell to, yeah, the system doesn't account for that and does no understanding that there's other sorts of transactions out there. So,
right.
Because obviously it's only Amazon that matters because, it's Amazon.
Yeah, I know there's a few groups, and there's a bunch of links. I'll try to clean up the links.
Damn you, Liechtenstein.
Yeah, we got a tweet replying that Amazon is taxed in Liechtenstein, however you properly say that.
One of 2 doubly landlocked countries in the world.
Oh,
sorry, I had to throw that in there.
No, that's quite all right.
I appreciate your trivia.
Yes.
Well, can you figure out which other country in the world is doubly landlocked, which means
Doubly landlocked.
What is doubly landlocked?
It is a landlocked country surrounded by landlocked countries.
Oh.
Yeah.
And there's only 2. Minus 1.
No, not no. I was going to say Congo?
No.
It's got to be African.
Nope.
Luxembourg.
No, not even a yes? No? That is a quiz for you, listeners. Email thegeeklifetv@gmail.com if you have the answer. And we'll tell you if you're wrong or right on next...
Or right now if you tweet it at us.
Yeah, if you tweet at us, absolutely. No,
it's easy enough to find out. I when I was first asked this question, I got Liechtenstein and I got the correct area of the world. I just couldn't figure out which of those countries it was without a map.
Uzbekistan.
Very good. It is Uzbekistan.
Hooray, I'll kiss you later.
Oh, yeah.
I just knew it was one of the stands because they're the only other ones that made sense for being in an area where you had enough countries and enough landmass.
Yeah, you had to get enough, yeah.
I want to play Civilization now.
Oh, yeah, right now I have time.
Yeah, no, that doesn't stop me. That doesn't stop me at all.
I don't have to be at work for a couple of days.
Oh, man, that is so stupid of me in those times. Anyway, comic of the week. I have a pick this week for a comic called Love Me Nice at lovemenicecomic.com. Quite possibly not safe for work in some updates. It's not like it's a porn comic or anything like that, but it does have some language occasionally, and it takes real life and cartoons and mixes them together as in this is the world that they live in. There's cartoon characters and there's real life and they're just another group of people. But of course, the center of this is a few different characters which work at basically it's not Disney is what they work at, and this not Disney that they work at. It's like the old. At least right now with the current updates, it's getting to the old guard is going away, and the character that's going to inherit basically the company has to make a few decisions going forward. Like one of the biggest things in the last several years has been like this person that's going to inherit. He's like the main character. He'd be like the not Mickey Mouse, but he's actually a monkey. But and he's been dating his publicist for years, and so they don't want to be just doing. They actually because it's like when you're at not Disney, you always have to have this exterior of we're that pseudo nuclear sort of safe for everybody family thing, and it's basically Archie Comics until the last guy in Archie Comics died, and then they actually tried some real stuff to be relevant again, and that worked out really well for Archie Comics. So that's sort of the same thing. If any of this sounds sort of interesting in a sort of very relationship focused comic, there you go, lovemenicecomic.com. So that is my comic of the week. If anybody else out there listening would strongly like us to have a comic of the week that you pick, you can email us at thegeeklifetv@gmail.com with your pick, and maybe your pick will be our pick. Moving on to tech. Oh, I put all these in here, didn't I?
I'm sure you did.
Does somebody do
I
that
put in
NASA
one.
Go, do that one. I'm going to
Okay.
take a break.
So I have one that after at least a couple of decades here,
Science.
the NASA's New Horizons probe around Pluto woke up the other day. They sent a signal to it that said, "Hey, wake up and start doing some science around Pluto." And
Pluto.
It went okay, and actually woke up and is doing its startup stuff. And
That's better than wake you up and saying the means of production belong to the workers. Screw you.
Was it purposely put to sleep, or did it go out of commission?
It was
Yeah.
purposely.
Yeah, it was purposely put to sleep to save power and stuff like that.
Yep. Cool.
Yeah.
Now, is
So
it actually?
we sent the signal, and it's going to take about an hour or two to get anything back before we know if it worked. So we're just going to stress out for a little while.
Yeah. Now, this is only doing a flyby though, right? It's not going to be able to actually do an orbit. If
I'm
memory
not
serves.
sure.
Wait, it has 5 moons?
Yeah.
Well, since when did Pluto have more than Charon?
But it's not a
It's
planet.
a while, but it's not a planet. It's a dwarf planet.
Oh, this is back when it was a planet. It only had 1.
No, but it
Oh,
was a planet.
sorry.
They
A
discovered the others.
9-year trip to Pluto.
9-year trip. Yep.
9-year tour.
Thank you. You beat me to it.
You're welcome. Hey, this moonshine's good.
Oh, was that it?
Yep. Actually, the mission's primary objective of the probe is the exploration of Pluto and its moons. So that's what it's for.
No, but
Further
what I meant
evidence
is,
that it's not a planet.
what I meant is though I don't know if they can get it into orbit. It's
Oh,
it's going too fast that it has to be a flyby mission that they don't have a way to break it.
okay.
Either way, it's going to be our first and closest and bestest look ever.
But yes.
It'll be awesome
Well, let's hope so.
because I still think of Pluto as a planet.
Well, it's not, and I never
Oof.
thought it was. Not even when I was in grade school. I thought that doesn't act like a planet at all.
What? It has its own. It has enough gravity to be round, that we know of, and it follows a predictable
It's-
orbit, and it's got its own moon.
So do
and-
comets. Comets also follow a predictable orbit,
And it's
and
moon
it's
and
made
it
of
don't.
ice and dust.
The problem is Charon and Pluto orbit an epicenter, not Charon orbiting Pluto. So that's one of the knocks against it.
Yeah, well.
I know.
Yeah, it's about the same size. It's like 70% it's the size of Pluto, isn't it?
Mm,
It's a huge moon.
They're friendly. It's a different sort of relationship. You should be more open.
I'm very fine with bi-planets or bi-planetoids and whatever. All right, I don't know if that worked. Anyway, talking about nostalgia, Apple antitrust with iPod and iTunes. Yes, they have for sure been deleting music they deemed illegally obtained from your iTunes list. Yes, they have.
No, from your iPod, not from your iTunes.
iTunes, iPod, whenever you have to redo it. And that's why I know some people on this show have been like curious, is like, it seemed to be deleting some of my music. And yes, it was.
Years ago. It hasn't been doing it since 2009, I think.
Well, there's still an antitrust suit for them now, so.
Well, once they're able to do non-DRM music, they stopped doing the deletion. Because some of it was tied up in the whole DRM contracts, hence why if you loaded your own music from a third party, if it detected that, it would say, oh, there's something the matter with your iPod. You need to totally wipe it now, and they would take out that music. So it would still be in your iTunes library, is my understanding, but it'd be wiped out on the iPod.
Fucking assholes.
But
All right.
I don't know. To me, it was a stupid way of handling the situation just to be contractually correct. So.
See, I'm glad I never got an iPod then, because every single thing would have not come from their iTunes store, and who knows if they just.
Well, it doesn't. It's only if they flagged it as coming from an illegitimate source. I mean, like
Right.
I personally ripped all of my CDs,
Yeah,
and
ripping
that
is
stuff
not
would have
considered
been
illegitimate.
fine.
Yeah, it has to be bought from a third party. So, like, if it figured out you bought it from Amazon somehow, an MP3, and moved it over, then if it saw that, it might be the process.
Have you seen some of the MD5 or whatever data they put in there from Amazon? It's fairly easy to recognize it. Oh yeah, it's bought from Amazon.
Yeah.
So I highly recommend for anybody listening out there, just in general, to go and find a free program called MP3 Tagger, or mp3tag.exe. You can find it for free, and it's great if you have to edit a bunch of MP3 files, because nothing that you can find will play per folder anymore, and it's strictly per metadata, and it just annoys me. Yes, I'm old and crotchety about my music.
Just like this lawsuit is old and crotchety. Sorry.
Yes.
I like tags.
I had all my music in
You did that person.
by bands, then by album, and I had an MP3 player that would play by directory, like it should be. Because I want to
Sorry,
listen.
the nomad died a fiery death.
See, with tags, you can slice and dice the data however you want. You can have concurrent playlists that include the same music. And
I didn't want that. I was a person that very specifically wanted to listen to that album.
you fear
So,
change,
For
don't
you, who are total...
I like Pandora a
For
lot.
the geeks in the audience, I will try
That
and
doesn't answer my question.
Fess loves IBM and ISAM data structures, and Melissa is part of the modern age of SQL and SQL servers and understands how that works. And that's really what this argument's about. Somebody likes linked lists and ISAM, the other person has walked into the 21st century.
Wow, I love you, Paul.
I personally like to be Retrieve.
Speaking of Android,
How are we moving on from this?
so Telstra services in Australia.
Isn't that a satellite?
I believe whatever provides basically cell service in Australia, called Telstra, is blocking the Android Lollipop updates for some reason.
Lollipop.
They can block the update from their users getting it, and that's like, okay. So people, I think they can load it via wireless or load it to the computer to side-load it.
Yeah, there's a side-loading option, but it's complex.
Yeah, but why that they're blocking an update like that? Just do they just not? We don't want people to be like loading that through our.
Because we're Australia and we hate you.
Well, it could actually very well be a bandwidth thing. I know of a couple people over there that are, I would love to be able to pay for faster internet, but it doesn't exist here in these areas. And, where they're stuck down to, they wouldn't be able to do, like, a hangout like this. At least not anywhere near this quality, because they just don't have the bandwidth.
Okay, that sounds
like,
reasonable.
I would love to be able to go faster. I would love to be able to do these things, but it's not physically possible on this network that we have here. And that could be part of it. I don't know.
That sounds like a legitimate explanation. There's probably other things going on, but depending where they are located in Australia, if it has enough rural areas where you can't get enough infrastructure out there, that would make sense. Thinking of like a podcast I was listening to a couple of weeks ago where they're talking to a guy who does an ISP service like in the western United States somewhere, and he's basically doing wireless, and he's like, yeah, I can't guarantee speeds higher than X because I got customers 10 miles apart. And there's no wires there. So, yeah. Still, it's kind of weird.
We got a tweet from B.S. Simon again. Thanks very much for listening to our live show. Absolutely. He tweets, "Bummer of the mission shrink regarding the Pluto flyby. Went to sleep dreaming about Pluto as a planet, woke up and told it was a lie."
Yeah, Yes, some poor little AI probe's going, wait, you promised.
But.
Aww.
Aww.
It's going to screw up the mission data.
It was all calibrated for planet. Now I have to do metric.
Hacking.
So
Hacksaws.
some of you might remember a couple weeks ago we mentioned Sony Pictures got hacked, and nobody was quite sure what was going on. It's kind of a big thing now.
Oh, it's huge.
Yeah, crap. It appears that, and something else I was reading earlier today, it appears that Sony might have actually been warned 2 or 3 days by the organization ahead of time that they're going to do this. And ignored it, because
Why not?
we're Sony Pictures. We didn't spend any money on security. We must be safe. And, yeah, they got everything. At least Annie has been released ahead of time. For a while, North Korea was being very coy about, well, we're not saying we did do it, but we're not going to say. And then they finally this week said, no, we didn't do it. We're all behind the righteous deed.
Wasn't there like a movie recently?
That's not out yet. That's still coming out. That's called The Interview.
Is that by Sony Pictures?
Yes, that's distributed by Sony Pictures. And
there we go.
That was the North Korean, that's why people thought it was North Korea, but North Korea has said, no, we actually didn't do it, because it's kind of like the moment in Iron Sky when North Korean ambassador steps up and says, glorious leader invented the spaceships. It's like, sit down, North Korea. The general opinion is they really don't have the skills to do this.
Yeah, they don't have the infrastructure.
And the way it's gone released, the fact that why would you release stuff like this? If you're a state actor, you do it differently. But yeah, so movies released, personal details released, various movie stars and actors and actresses have been thoroughly doxxed now.
I kind of love the list of pseudonyms that stars use when they're on the road, because they have really lame names. I can't remember who it was, but somebody goes by the name Cash Money.
Oh, Jesus. I'm Cash Money.
Cash Money!
Biff Hard Cheeks. Anyhow.
Yeah. One of the interesting things that came out of the data is the discovery that women are dramatically underpaid at the company compared to their male counterparts in the same positions.
Yep.
Yeah.
And various other stuff like that.
Yeah.
I am all behind this righteous deed.
Well, I thought I read something in the news earlier, and it was just a brief where I didn't see the entire thing, but the group that did it is actually coming out and saying, yes, we've got a lot more, and we will release it unless you actually pull the interview, the movie.
I'd have
pull a release on that.
Oh, I'd have to look for that.
But again, like I said, it was this little brief thing. It's like, okay.
Before this data went out, this current dump, they had sent a poor English letter to Sony Pictures saying, if you don't submit to our demands and admit you're a horrible company and we will bury you, sort of thing. But there were really no demands in the demands, so it's kind of hard to give in when there's nothing saying what should you do. and the text was about at the level of somebody has set us up the bomb. All Zug for great justice. I mean, literally, that was the cadence
for
of that
great
text.
Justice.
Yeah. Ha ha ha! Time for you to die. Yeah, it's like
all your films are belong to us.
Yes, all your films are belong to us. Release all actors for great monetary justice. No, so yeah, it's not clear. They think they've traced the IP address, and that might be going to Hong Kong, but that I'd have to double check. But yeah, this is just weird. I mean, it's one of the worst corporate hacks so far to date, as far as we can tell, if not the worst, for just what's been released. But no clue as to the rhyme or reason of it. I mean, it's just not been. I'm kind of with the camp saying it's a bunch of script kiddies are the equivalent to suddenly hit the jackpot and didn't know what to do and said screw it.
All right, let's be bad guys.
Yeah, let's really do it.
Yeah, that's going to end well.
This is like Lifetime movie plot level for what they're doing. Speaking of which, Grumpy Cat was great.
Oh, was it? I didn't get a chance to see it.
For a Lifetime movie, yes. It had enough fourth wall breaking that it was lovely. It had nice, occasionally good lines like you're one gimp short of being Kaiser Soze. One limp short.
Wow.
Yeah, that was good. The other one was near the end when the mom comes and asks if her daughter's okay, and they didn't do anything to you. You know what I mean about doing things to you, and the daughter's response is, "Mom, it's not that sort of Lifetime movie."
I got a question.
Yes.
Now, I'm asking if there's two things that happened in this movie. One.
Now, let's emphasize it's not that sort of Lifetime movie.
No, these are different. One, at any point, excuse me, was the reference, even if not exactly, somewhere in the movie about hating Mondays?
I don't recall.
Okay. Second question. Did anyone in the movie go, "A talking cat"?
No.
Okay.
Because only the girl could hear the cat. So there's a
okay.
psychic bond between the two of them.
Okay.
I just remember one scene that was in like a commercial or a blurb about it where there's a minigun being used.
Yes.
And there's a little
paintball gun.
Okay, British cat over in the corner saying, "Actually, it doesn't work like that." Or is this all of a sudden it's like, "Shut up, British Grumpy Cat! I'm trying to work here."
Yes. Yes. There is a brief scene with Grumpy Cat using an automatic paintball gun, and British Grumpy Cat says, "You can't have a paintball gun, Grumpy Cat." And it's like, "Shut up, British Grumpy Cat." Yeah, there was plenty of oddities about that. Was worth it once. So. Once a year might be too often, but definitely go see it once.
Meanwhile, I'm still flashing back to A Talking Cat, which is a remarkably terrible film.
Watch it with people.
Watch it with people.
And drink.
Yeah.
I wasn't sad when, I don't know who was there. Was it with Marcus? Was Marcus?
I think it might have been. But we started watching A Talking Cat, and the stream died halfway through, and everybody was like, "Oh, thank God!"
Of course, that didn't stop you from finishing it another time.
No, because I'm a glutton for punishment.
Yes, you are.
I may have a problem.
Speaking of which, on that note,
oh dear.
For those that don't remember, Marcus had passed away last year due to cancer. But within the last month, his last published work has come out. Jake Meyer, I think, was the artist. The comic is called Orphan Blade. It's a complete comic bound book. You can find it at your local shops. I bought a few copies. A couple are going to be presents, and so that is really nice. And there's a little send-off in it too. So I'll try to get a link to that in the show notes as well. But it was really nice, and I really should get our last comic reviews where we had Marcus on them out finally. But we miss you, Marcus. Moving on to gaming. We're going to try something new this episode called Game of the Week, inspired by Melissa's last episode where she peaked a game, and I thought, hey, let's try Game of the Week. So I'm challenging the crew here on the Geek Life, and again, same with Comic of the Week. Perhaps you have a peak. You can email us to thegeeklifetv@gmail.com, and maybe your peak can become our peak. My pick of the week, Game of the Week is called The Long Dark, where you can find it intothelongdark.com or on Steam. Look for The Long Dark. It is an alpha game. It's not even in beta. The only thing that's available right now is the sandbox mode, which at present, I think recently they added a second map to it, but there's two maps, two locations. And it starts with the premise, there's a geomagnetic storm or blah, blah, blah. Plot device, this is why there's lone wolves that are attacking you, which they normally don't do, and that's why there's no electrical. It's also supposed to be like post-war, so it's supposed to be like, I think it's like post World War II or something like that. So it's, it doesn't, there's no cell phones, and things like that. But the electrical disturbance, radios don't work. There's no electricity. Everything's abandoned. And so there's a big storm. You'll find frozen corpses in the snow. You'll find various abandoned like huts or cabins, cars, fishing places, things like that, where there's nobody there, but you need to go into all these places to find supplies to survive, like food, and food degrades over time eventually, and there's only so much food in the game. So part of the sandbox challenge is to figure out, well, how long can you live? There's no end game right now. It's just how long can you survive and not freeze to death, or not starve to death, or not get eaten to death by wolves. And they'll probably add bears later on. But
how many frozen corpses?
I'm sure it varies. I've probably come across 10 so far. But
food?
Yeah, I was gonna say, can you cook them?
You cannot harvest the corpses. You can't.
This game was not designed by people from Wisconsin.
No, it's based in Canada, and they're too nice for that.
Oh well, okay.
Oh, wow.
You can harvest food like fish, wolf, deer, and of course you'll find like rations or candy bars or sodas, peanut butter, crackers. A lot of various stuff, and of course water management is a thing. You need clean water, so you can melt snow, boil the water, so it's safe to drink, or find water in homes, like get water out of the toilet, sort of thing. So it's a management it's a resource management survival game at this point, and I got it for like $10 during the Steam sale a couple of weeks ago, and it was totally worth $10 just for the alpha mode, which is just sandbox mode. And so I think the game is like $20 or $25, and that's for, which will eventually, sounds like they'll be coming out with it's like episodic or something like that. So who knows how long this story mode is going to be, but it sounds like they got some pretty decent voice acting in it so far, and I've been having a blast. I'm almost to surviving 20 days, and there's like a maximum like achievement of 50 days, which is incredibly challenging because of the amount of food that you're going to have to go through, because you also have to manage your calories, your thirst, your fatigue, your cold, all that. It's very fun. I really like the game a lot so far.
Cool.
Meanwhile, I have one. Am I still... Oh, no, I'm not muted anymore. Hooray! People can hear me. Sweet. Okay, so I have a pick, which I'm very fond of games that I can play in about 30 seconds, because that is about what my attention span is these days. There is a little game, it's both on iPhone and Android. It's called Bonza, and what it basically is it's kind of like a crossword puzzle that has been filled in for you and then broken into little bits. So you have to take all the little bits of words and put them together into a crossword, the complete crossword puzzle. And it'll give you like one hint on what all the words should relate to, but other than that, you don't know what the words are supposed to be. So that's, you get like 10 fragments per screen, and then you have to fiddle around with them until they make words and all fit together.
Huh.
I like it.
That
And I think it's like 99 cents on the iOS store, if I remember right.
Cool.
That's what I got.
That's what you got, and thank you very much for that. So those are our games of the week. We record every other week, so we can do 2. So that's a week. That's 2 weeks in between each show. So we're not cheating. There we go. And we got peaks. Peaks. Does anybody have peaks? I'm the only one who has a written peak.
I got nothing this week.
I don't have anything either.
Oh, you guys.
My peak would have been Bonza.
All right. Well, my peak is going to be another comic-related thing. This is the Behind the GIF tag on Tumblr. Yes, it's pronounced GIF. Stop saying it wrong.
Yes, we know.
It is GIF.
And so you go to tumblr.com/tagged/behind-the-GIF with a G. And it's, well, it's not pulling up for me right now, but there is this trend. It's not a particular person, but it's a particular thing where you see like animated GIFs all the time, and well, just how did that GIF get there? What is the story behind the GIF? And so people will draw comics related to what happens right on up to it. Like there's this one GIF of a girl doing like a selfie with a concerned look on her face as she slowly looks back at her dog and slowly back at the camera, and the dog has this very accusing sort of stare at her. And somebody did the behind the GIF of this, and it was. Oh, she's so sad about being broken up, and then gets a text back from her really terrible boyfriend, and is like, oh, maybe he does want me back, and then the dog is just staring at her, and so it's like, it's really kind of fun. And that's just one example, but it's like a lot of them are related to animals and things like that, but and that's great. I'll just throw out an additional peek while Melissa's writing up another one here. Go to the Caber Report website and see the President of the United States on the show.
Oh yes.
And it's really fun because he comes in and does the word segment of Stephen Colbert, but he like interrupts the show and he reads what Stephen Colbert would read, and it's like he is totally poking fun at himself the entire 5 minutes or whatever that it's running. It's hilarious. By the way, if you haven't seen Between Two Ferns with Zach Galifianakis and the President of the United States, it's funny. Watch both of them. They're funny. Watch them.
So, I have a peek. I thought of one.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so back in 1992, there was a documentary called Baraka. It's by one of the guys who did Kind of Scotsy. If you're a documentary nerd, you know what that means. Baraka is a documentary where this guy and a cinematographer took a 70mm camera and went to 24 different countries and just started filming stuff.
Cool.
And it's kind of this stream of consciousness, dialogue-free, beautiful piece of cinematography, just random images from around the world. Nothing is explained. It's just kind of this pretty image after pretty image, hypnotic visual experience.
Philip Glass music again?
Yeah, kinda. It wasn't Philip Glass though, and it's very lovely.
Was that thing I saw part of?
Yes, it's on Blu-ray right now, and it is gorgeous. The Blu-ray is beautiful.
Yeah, it's sort of like a documentary of something, but somebody took out all the talking parts of the documentary.
Yeah, there's a heavy reliance on shots of like religious experiences and religious sites, but I mean it's all totally grounded in, people performing rituals and people in these grand spaces, and lots of nature, lots of temples and churches, especially in the Middle East and the Far East.
Let's get Werner Herzog to riff a documentary over it. Just make his own documentary over the
Well, if I knew Werner Herzog and could make him jump through hoops like that, I would have so many projects for the man.
Like he needs some.
See, I was just thinking you take the audio from In Search Of and mash it up. So.
See, yeah.
Alien landing site.
I just need some way to have Werner Herzog at my beck and call. Honestly.
Well, do what you need
This
to do.
moonshine is delicious, people.
Are you still nursing that?
If you get Werner Herzog,
This is my second one.
Philip Morris.
Oh.
Sorry, not Philip Morris.
Errol Morris.
Errol, thank you.
See, Errol Morris.
Paul's world.
I could probably legitimately get in contact with Errol Morris.
I love Errol.
He's so great. He's so great.
All
So,
right.
anyone else?
No, I don't
Nope.
think.
Time for the outro.
Yep, you don't got it. No, got it. All right. So that is all for this week's episode of The Geek Life here at thegeeklife.tv. Remember, we have an email. You can email us at thegeeklifetv@gmail.com if you have any news articles that you would like us to check out, or if you have a peek or a game of the week, comic of the week for us, absolutely send us that, as well as contact us on our voicemail at 1-612-567-65 There are plenty of free ways that you can dial, or free or cheap ways you can dial that voicemail if you do not live in the continental United States of America or Canada. Facebook, The Geek Life on Facebook, Twitter at The Geek Life TV, and Google Plus, The Geek Life Podcast, which also, of course, ties to our YouTube account. Thank you all very much for listening, and come back in a couple of weeks. Are we recording on the 23rd?
I was actually going to ask that. Should we take one episode off just for Christmas, or?
It's the 23rd. It's not even Christmas yet.
Well, I know, but...
Well, it's Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
That's
I'll
up to you
be
guys.
here.
I'll be around.
It's the day before the day before the day that is the greatest in the world,
It is?
according to Paul and Storm.
Oh, that's right. I'll
Yeah.
believe them.
I'll be here on the 23rd. I will make something up if nobody shows.
You
So-
and me both.
Yeah, we'll both be here.
All right.
I don't work the next day. I have off, so I will not care. But
I don't know if I have the day off. Oh,
Ooh.
Uh-oh. The
No,
23rd?
I know the story on
I
that
don't
one.
know.
Yeah.
All right, so that is it for this episode of The Geek Life at thegeeklife.tv on the web. This has been Melissa,
Bye-bye.
Michael,
Later.
Paul,
Adios.
and myself, Fess. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.